So my name is Dave Brandon, and I'm doing a video in response to uh, a comment thread on a Martin Luther King Day post. There's a young man on here named Cullen, I think his name is. I addressed some points that he made one by one, and lo and behold, Instagram wouldn't let me post my comment. So here I am. I'm going to make a video, Colin, and I hope you take the time and make the effort to actually watch this and hear what I got to say. But here's what you said, young man. You said, obviously, you haven't educated yourself because at this point it should be common sense about what I'm about to say. Everything you said is true about what happened in the 60s concerning a previous comment I made, but Republicans were against the voting bill that was passed, so they switched parties. If it wasn't true, then why are the KKK Republicans? Why aren't Republicans the ones who are marching and protesting racism and police brutality? Why are Republicans against Juneteenth? Why do Republicans have an obsession with the N-word? Republicans are literally always asking, why isn't it okay for white people to say it, the N-word? If I have a real degree in criminal justice and not one from Facebook or YouTube University, you can't even begin to explain to me why Republicans are the ones who love seeing police brutality. If it wasn't a political party swap, shouldn't Republicans be the ones marching and shouldn't Democrats be the ones defending police brutality and flying Confederate flags? Tell me, how do Republicans feel about Muslims again? I will wait on you to completely ignore me or start name calling. Sir, I'm not going to do any of that because those are like leftist modus operandi. I don't engage in that stuff. But here's the post that I was going to make that Instagram wouldn't allow. And I said, I'll address everything you said one by one and show you why you're wrong. One, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was John Kennedy's bill. JFK, he was assassinated before he had the chance to sign it into law. History records that JFK was a conservative Democrat. He was from Massachusetts, by the way. Yes, and conservative Democrats exist, but then in far greater numbers than now. Of course, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was a Southern Democrat and fan of the KKK, in fact, ended up signing that bill into law. Historically known as an unabashed racist because he was. He was famously quoted as saying after signing the bill, because he signed the bill during a press conference and, of course, couldn't say it out loud, but he was quoted as saying, after this, we'll have the N-word voting Democrat until doomsday. This is documented history, Cullen. He said this, okay? This is, I am not making it up. By the way, almost 90% of Republicans at the time voted for passage of the Civil Rights Act, by the way, while almost a full 85% of Democrats didn't support it. They did not support it, Cullen. Did not. Okay, if you do some actual research into actual history, you will find this, okay? The second thing is that this nonsense that these politicians and party ideology switches back and forth is nonsense. That's just not the case, you know. Democratic ideology and Republican ideology has not changed significantly in 100 years, either way. Anyway, three, the Ku Klux Klan is not made up of Republicans by and large. It wasn't then, and it's not now. The KKK has always been a Democratic Party institution and was propped up by Southern Democrats, not Republicans. As a matter of fact, if you've ever heard the name David Duke, he was a Democrat from Louisiana who was Grand Wizard of the KKK for many years. Also, in case you weren't aware, John Wilkes Booth, ever heard that name? Is a guy that shot and killed Abraham Lincoln. Southern Democrat, sir. Southern Democrat, okay? Once again, this is documented history. It's not up for debate. This is history, okay? And as far as what you said about Republicans being against Juneteenth, that's not true. There's nothing about that that's true. I mean, why would we be? It makes no sense. Republicans are not against Juneteenth. By the way, I seriously doubt that you even understand what the significance of Juneteenth actually is without Googling it first. Do you? Because I do. I do know the significance. I studied history. I know the significance. Anyway, 5, Republicans don't have an obsession with the N-word, like you said. Uh, it's obvious that liberals and black folks are the ones with the obsession with the N-word. I mean, you're a young black man, okay? How many times have you called some friend of yours nigga? You know, how many times? You want to know how many times I've called any of my white friends honky? I can tell you, 0, 0. Okay, we're not obsessed with those kinds of terms. It's the people that are obsessed with those terms are not the people you think. You know, that's a fact. And what you said about Republicans loving police brutality, that's horseshit, dude. It's bullshit. Republicans don't love police brutality any more than anyone else does. I'm a former police officer, sir. I am a former police officer. What you said is nonsense, okay? If you actually believe that, then I submit that you need some counseling, perhaps, and some anger management classes. As far as Muslims go, what you said about Muslims, Muslims in true Muslim countries, for instance, like Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, some of these other countries that are actually have governments based on Sharia law, don't even consider American Muslims to be real Muslims at all. They don't. They consider them to be infidels, just like other Americans. That's why they didn't have a problem killing all of these people that were in the Twin Towers that day when they crashed those damn planes into the building. You think that they gave a rat's ass about any American Muslims in there? No, they didn't, because they're infidels, just like the rest of us. And I've served over there. I have a little idea what I'm talking about, sir. So anyway, to sort of close this thing out, man, here's the deal, Cullen. Just like so many other young black men and black women in America, you guys have been deliberately duped and miseducated. I'll say miseducated because the information that they're using to educate you is wrong, in fact, and they're using flat-out lies and misinformation and the deliberate perversion of our history to lull you into a state where these leftist assholes who don't give a real damn about you lock you into a state of perpetual victimhood and mental slavery to keep you in line, because Democrats figured out some 60 plus years ago that they couldn't enslave black people physically anymore. That was not possible anymore. So that they had to figure out ways to do it mentally and economically and psychologically. And that's precisely what's happened here. Look, man, guys like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Sheila Jackson Lee and Maxine Waters, they're not your friend, okay? None of those people are your friend. They are all poverty pimps, and they're all lined up in the same scheme to keep you duped and to keep you ignorant so they can control you, man. And that's the bottom line. What you need to do is you need to actually start trying to think critically and look into some of the things I'm talking about and figure out why I'm saying them. Because you know what, Cullen? They're true. Okay? Go figure it out for yourself, and I hope you do. Have a good day, young man.